Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming today. So I'm Bill Villafranco. I am the executive director of MyFace, and it really is a pleasure having you all here this afternoon to join us in our fireside chat with Amedy. But before we hear from Amedy, I'd like Dina to say a few words about MyFace, but more about Dina, because her story is incredibly impactful in and of itself. And I think she's got a lot to offer, and she only has a few minutes. So I think you're going to enjoy her remarks. So Dina.
Thank you. So thank you. I am Dina Zuckerberg, and I am the Director of Family Programs at MyFace, where I've been for 12 years. I was born with a cleft lip, hearing loss, hear nothing on my right, with a hearing aid in my left, and no vision in my left eye. I had 6 surgeries growing up at NYU under Dr. McCarthy, and I also had years of braces, orthodontics, and speech therapy growing up. I was teased. Kids would say mean things, they would stare, and those moments have always stayed with me even today. Though I do remember those times when someone would say, "Can I sit with you? Can I play with you? Can I be your friend?" I also remember those moments as well. I, in my early 20s, joined a support group for teens and adults with craniofacial differences, and it was the first time that I really met others who had differences like me, and that was at a point in my life where we did theater called Let's Face the Music, where we wrote it and we performed in it, telling the story of our lives through skits, music, and skits and music. And we really, first time for me and all of us, getting up on stage and revealing parts of ourselves that we had never done before, many of us. And so, fast forward 12 years ago, I joined MyFace as the Director of Family Programs, and it was really important to me when I joined that no person go through what I did growing up. And so I wanted to create support groups and networking events, and then we did the Wonder Project, where we, based on the young adult novel by R.J. Palacio, which many of you may know about, going into schools, speaking to students about differences, choosing kindness, and being an upstander. And that is a program that I'm really proud of. We've reached about 100,000 students, and it grows every year, and we are now hopefully expanding to have more speakers and going across the country. And we also are doing community engagement events, and we've done karaoke night, paint and sips, bowling, all kinds of events, really to bring the community together. As I always say, there's power in the shared story, in knowing you're not alone. And I see it over and over again in the work that we do. We also have apartments near our office, where I know Amedy, you've been able to stay at, and there's no charge for those apartments. And so we really, at MyFace, and there's more that we do, but really at MyFace, we, again, want to make sure that everybody has the support and resources they need on this journey, because it starts from, even in some cases before they're born, well into their adult years. And we are trying to be there every step of that journey. And some of you in this room have been on that journey and know how important this is. So I have gotten to know Amedy in the last few months. She is amazing, has such courage, resilience, spunk, one of the nicest people I know, and is on a mission. So I will turn it back over to Bill, and thank you.
Thank you, Dina. Thank you all for coming. We're sure going to learn a lot from Amedy. I had the pleasure of spending almost an hour and a half with her the other night. And wow, when I walked out of there, I will tell you that I was a better man than when I first walked in. And that's what I strive for every day. I strive to be a better person than I was the day before. And I could assure you when you walk out of this room, you'll be touched by her story in such a way that you'll carry that kindness and empathy and compassion that she has for others right with you. And it's really a pleasure to be sitting with you, Amedy, and sharing some questions with you as you tell us your story. So thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's our pleasure. Amedy, can you take us through your childhood? What was it like growing up? What was it like before the incident?
It was fun, chaos. I grew up with 2 older brothers, so I was kind of the punching bag of them. And I grew up in Michigan, country. We just did a whole bunch of going on quads. We had a golf cart, go snowmobiling, always do family trips. We did a lot of outdoor activities, very family oriented, and it was fun. It was nice. My brothers would, my older brother would be watching us, and we'd just go outside and build forts or ride our bikes and dare each other to do things we should not have done. Just crazy stuff like that. It was a fun childhood.
Yeah, and then as you grew a little bit older and were in high school, you were a cheerleader.
Yep, I did cheer and soccer.
And tell me a little bit about that.
Oh, it was a blast. I never thought I'd go into cheer, but I did, and I played soccer since I was 4, and so I actually got into soccer because of my oldest brother. I look up to him, both of them, but I was like, he does soccer, I like soccer, I want to try it, and so I fell in love with that sport, and then I saw one of my cousins doing cheer, and I thought that'd be fun, so I went to that, and it was great. Taught me, what it's like to be part of a team, to respect one another, and that when you're in a sport, it's about the team, not just the singular person. And I feel like my coaches helped me gain, responsibility, figuring out who I am, also navigating as a teen.
Yeah, but it wasn't just cheerleader as maybe some of you think. It was competitive cheerleading.
Yes, yeah, competitive. Yep.
Which I think is a really important distinction. You weren't just
Yes.
with pom-poms. You were
No.
flipping all over the place.
No, there's a big difference. Yes. So competitive cheer is I throw girls up in the air. We do flips and tricks and all that stuff, and it was just a blast.
Mm-hmm.
I loved doing the makeup and the poofy hair and the big bows. Oh, it was amazing. It was so fun. And then you work so hard to make sure that your routine is right and perfect, and because you got to smile for them judges,
Right.
and because then no one that's judging you, and it's a blast. It's fun. And then for soccer, it was that's when I guess I really put my I don't want to say my anger out on the field, but I very much expressed myself with soccer.
Mm-hmm.
My my high school coach, I got the nickname the linebacker. I mean the wall. I literally, because I was on defense, and I'd have girls that would try and hip check or try and knock me over, and they would just bounce off me, and I'm like, oh, you okay? You good down there? It's literally one of my certificates says the linebacker.
Oh my gosh.
I love my coach. Yeah, my
Aw.
coaches, they've helped me figure out who I was navigating through high school, just trying to figure out who I was.
Yeah, I remember you telling me the other night that your coaches played a very important part of your life. In fact, you went to one of the coaches just before you went on your trip because you were struggling.
Yes.
Should I go? Should I not go? And maybe you could talk a little bit about that conversation and lead us along through the trip and your return from the trip.
Yeah, so I moved to Midland my senior year to try and just get out of the situation. My grades were dropping. I knew I had to get out, and so I was very grateful and to have someone that would take me out. And so I went to Midland, tried out for the cheer squad in Class A school. I was very nervous. I didn't think I, not that good, blah, blah, but I made it. I got on it, and I was super happy. And I worked hard to get in. There's 3 rounds to competitive cheer, and I got in 2 of the 3, so that was pretty good for me. And well, that week, it was, I believe, like the December 28th to like December 6th or something was the week of the cruise. And I had a competition the 3rd and the 6th. And so I'd be missing 2 competitions. And so I sat down with my coach and I said, hey, I will stay back, because my mother also told me, you only have 4 years to do a sport you love. You got your entire life to go on a cruise. And so I really, contemplated that, and I sat down with my coach and I was like, do you need me? And he goes, yeah, like I switched stuff around because, you proved to be in round 3, so I switched stuff around. And I'm like, okay. Then he's like, no. He goes, it's fully paid for, go. He's like, go, just go. And I still sat there, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll go. And I feel like that could have, if I didn't go, things would have been different. I think, we don't know for sure, but, and so, yeah, so I went, all 3 of us hopped in the car, my stepfather, my mother, and I,
And can I just, one point that I want to make that you brought to me was that the relationship with your stepfather was somewhat abusive.
Very.
And you were going really to protect your mom, to be with her in case the activity continued.
Yeah. He always kept up appearances in the family. Like when family was around, he would keep up the appearance of I'm perfect, and and a good guy. And so I knew he was gonna fake it, but I still was scared. And I went. Plus, it was for my birthday, and this is a huge thing. And so I'm like, okay. And so all 3 of us drive down to Florida, and we get to probably about like Kentucky or something. And he faked a illness, and so with that illness, he said that something happened. I'm not quite an incident or episode. I don't know, but he had to go back up north because I guess he couldn't go on the trip. And I was happy. I'm sorry. I was very happy because I was like, me and mom time. Like I get hurt myself. And so my mom and I grabbed a rental car, finished our way to Florida. And this comment still gets me to this day. Is we were sitting there and we were just talking, and she told me that if I didn't go, she would have went back with my stepfather. And so that comment kind of sits with me, because it's like I wasn't gonna go. And so would any of this happened if I didn't go? But at the same time, we will never know.
Right.
And so that's just something I think about. But no, we went, had a blast. Oh my gosh, amazing. Bahamas is gorgeous. Cayman Islands, I recommend going to the Caribbean in general. But so we get back, we're flying back, and we're in the airport, and my mother brings up, she asked me what a snap code is. And I'm kind of like, I look at her and I was like, that's for Snapchat, a social media app. And she goes, well, your stepfather has it. And I'm just like, oh, well, that's weird, because he was never really one for that. And he was talking with, we got proof that he was cheating. And so that's kind of where everything exploded. My mother, I'm going to divorce you, all of this. And this was in an airport, so she was loud, and it's like the airport got quiet, and it's like, oh no. But, what can you do? And so we get on the plane, and she she stopped messaging, they just stopped messaging each other. They had to turn the phones off. And we were just sitting there talking. I asked her, will you ever get married again? And she's like, no, probably not. And this voice, it wasn't my voice, but it popped in my head, and it says, tell your mother you love her and tell her you're sorry for being such a rotten child. And I did. I said that to her, and I told her, and she laughed. She's like, oh, honey. She's like, you're mouthy, but not rotten. And so I was, I'm glad I said that to her. And we get off the plane. The tension was just crazy. And he gets in the car, and you can tell he's already like on the brink. And this was it was dead of winter in Michigan, -9. The roads were terrible. Our flight kept getting delayed because the runway kept getting iced over. And so the roads were horrendous, and he was driving very erratically. I was honestly thinking he was purposely trying to get us in an accident. But he was accusing my mother of stuff and accusing me, and so I'm just like, I was like, you're crazy. And he's like, you want to see crazy? And I was like, yeah, show us crazy. And that's when he pulled the car over. And everyone asked me, oh, how'd you not see the gun? Or where was the gun at? So the back of the vehicle, I still was moving to Midland. So I still had, that whole back hatch was full. We had my mother's suitcase, my suitcase that went to my waist. It's huge, We didn't see it. He hid it under the hard mat that you would lay down to cover the floor. Mm-hmm. He hid it under that. And so that's why we didn't see it at all. And he stops the car, he gets out, my mom gets out. I'm on the passenger side, and I go to get out, and my mother says, Amy, he has a gun, or he has a gun, get back in the car, something like that. And so I lean over to dial 911, and I don't remember clicking call, but I look over my shoulder, and then that's when he shot me. And it was, came to the conclusion later on that I passed out, but I came to no idea how, and just profusely just throwing everything up. I was trying to use my phone to get help, but my teeth was shattered, my mouth was shattered. I tried the lights, the horn. I got out of the car twice to try and get help. Second time, I almost got hit by a semi because I was so close to the highway.
Amedy, let's go back for 1 second. So he shot you, then he shot your mom.
Yes.
And then he shot himself.
Yes.
And you were in the middle of Michigan in the cold highway all by yourself.
Yeah.
And not to get graphic, but as you explained to me the other day, you continue what you feel comfortable saying.
No, that was a key point. Yeah, no, he got me, and then my mother, I was told, fought. Her hands were just bruised. And my mother's a fighter. She's a fighter. And so she fought to their last, and he got her, and then he got himself, and he fell on the gun. So when the officers showed up, they didn't know where it was at first, and so that was a little sketchy. But yeah, he did himself in. Mm-hmm. Yeah, coward way in my opinion, but
yeah. And then you go to the highway.
Yeah.
Right? You're trying to wave down truckers.
Yeah, when the bullet hit me, it took my vision, so I saw complete black, and my ears were still ringing. And so I was literally feeling my way, and then I just tried to go by the sound of walking in the snow. And I felt the wind from the semi, and I lost my balance, and I said, I can't keep doing this. I cannot keep doing this. And so I got in the car. But the first time I got out and went back in, that same voice in my head was like, get up. Get up. You can't. I just turned 18. This is not how I'm going to go. He put me through so much. And this is not how he's not going to win. I'm not going to let him win. And so I fought and fought and fought until I couldn't anymore. And so I laid down, and that was my last thought before I passed out again. That's how I'm going to die. And I was sad and heartbroken, but I couldn't fight no more.
Mm-hmm. And then, luckily, the police or ambulance showed up.
Mm-hmm.
And they took you to the hospital.
Yeah, it took about 30 minutes or something like that. 3 people called saying, suspicious activity on the side of the highway, luggage everywhere. Someone said, there's 2 bodies on the floor. They look really cold. Yeah. And it was, surreal, I guess. Really. I remember them coming up, talking to me. They asked me if I could walk. I said yes. And then they're like, no, we got to wait for the ambulance. And so I walked myself to the ambulance, climbed myself up in the ambulance, and I had on my senior apparel on and my Bahamas shirt on, and I was not realizing I'm covered in blood. I just remember feeling them cut my clothes, and I was so furious. So I didn't want them to cut my clothes. I just couldn't. I was like, no, what are you doing? Yeah, not realizing it's covered in blood. Yeah, I know. Girls, we go to our clothes, right? Like, oh, take the clothes. But yeah, and it kind of went black after that.
Yeah. And your resilience and your compassion and empathy is remarkable, absolutely remarkable. And when I sat there the other night with you, and you told me this story, but then you told me about what the world means to you now.
Oh yeah.
And the relationship you have with your dad now,
Mm-hmm.
where there wasn't much of a relationship before, and what he means to you in your life today. Talk a little bit about where you are today.
Oh boy, I feel good. I feel like my father and I never really had. I mean, we had a relationship, but he had his battles with alcoholism. But he is now 3.5 years sober, and I could not be more proud of him. And he's been my rock. He's been my lifeline. My grandmother has been there for me through thick and thin. She's like, sometimes I forget she's my grandmother, and I'll be like, oh, TMI. I mean, not even kidding. And I'm just like, oh, you're my grandma. Wait. I mean, we are that close. I mean, no, my dad, he's just an amazing man.
Yep.
I love him. I could not be more grateful to have a father like him. Anything I need, anything I want, he is there for me. He reminds me that when I fall, it's okay. Just get back up. You just keep going. Yeah, you might got some scrapes and bruises, but hey, them battle scars. And you just keep going.
Yeah.
That's what my mama taught me too.
Yeah, I remember meeting your dad for the first time a few months ago, actually. Mm-hmm. And he really is an amazing man. Incredible. And to sit and have lunch with both of you. But there's also another guardian angel in your life,
Mm-hmm.
your friend Becky.
Mm-hmm.
And, Becky's been your rock.
She has.
For quite a long time. And I just had the pleasure of meeting Becky the other night, and she is a rock.
She is. She's the one that pushed my mother to allow me to move out of the house at 17, move across state, because Becky saw how it was affecting me. And because of the drama, I was going to not continue with soccer because it was getting so bad for my mental health. And Becky goes, oh, no. She's no, oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So very grateful and very thankful.
Yeah. You shared with me an incident that I think were you at a concert recently? Was it a concert or a?
It was Michigan Mayhem. It's like a truck show. It's like a truck.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's not a concert.
Us country folk. So y'all might think it's boring, but it's actually really fun. Like, we get a bunch of trucks, and we get rotted out tires and stuff, and we do burnouts till they pop and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, that sounds like a blast.
I mean, I know, y'all city folk might not seem, but it is. It's fun. It's fun to us, and then we got to see, and then if one pops, and then they go pop, 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 and it's fun.
And what happened that night that you shared with me?
Sadly, I realized that I had to drop. This friend was only my friend to get the likes of being my friend.
On Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook, public, the attention she got in our town, and then when when I was getting too much, maybe but see, I don't. How do I?
You're going to hold back?
I want to be respectful.
I think they'll be understanding if you go over the line a little bit.
Well, okay, I did. I felt very disrespected. So there was well over 4,000 people there, and everyone's drinking, having fun. Well, my cane kept running into people, and I kept accidentally bumping into people. People bumped into me. I can't tell you. Yeah, it was terrible. But again, I am visually impaired. I cannot see very well at all. I got what is it? I got compared to her toddler, and then got left at the bar to stay there for 6+ hours. Mm-hmm. Because this person was sick of me bumping into people, and end of quote. And so I sat there, cried at the bar, and I go, why am I feeling guilty for having a visual impairment when this just shows what type of person that is? Mm-hmm. And so it made me sit back, and this just happened recently, 2 months ago. And so it's really, these last 2 years have really been healing for me, because I'm actually seeing, this person just wants best for them, not me. And there's also been other things, like in the beginning of the summer, I am in an amazing relationship now, and that same friend sabotaged it, and it was just very sad. Honestly, and it broke my heart, and so I had to drop that person. But it's but if you ask around, then I'm the villain, and it's no. But I noticed I've noticed that happens a lot. You finally have had enough, stick up for yourself, and then you're the bad one.
Right.
And so, I'm okay with being the villain, but I've just noticed that a lot of people just need to be more considerate. I did not choose to be blind. You're the one that invited me to this event. You can't handle me, then you shouldn't have invited me to begin with. So,
yeah. And yesterday, you had a totally different incident happening in New York.
With
the gentleman who offered to help poor Becky, whose phone was going haywire, trying to figure out where she was.
Oh, yes. Oh, my gosh. Yes. So everyone thinks that it's either a car accident or they just say accident. And I will correct, because it was not an accident. And so he actually said incident. And I looked at him and I went, oh, my gosh. And I'm a hugger. So I was like, can I give you a hug? Please, because you're the first person in 8 years that has not said accident. And he's like, really? But it's an incident. And I go, yes.
Yeah.
And I've noticed being in the city, I love the diversity, first of all. I love it. All the different languages, it's awesome. But just how people also interact with me. My hometown, a lot of people don't know what the white cane is. But then here, it's they're part of the Red Sea, and it's oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Because I do feel bad when I accidentally hit someone in the leg with my cane, but it's at the same time, that's my eyes. So,
Mm-hmm.
What are you gonna do?
Amedy, when the world gets heavy, when you feel the world's weight on your shoulders, how do you get through that? Who do you turn to? What do you think of?
I think of my mom. My dad, my grandmother, and my best friend. Those four. I have a best friend of 17 years. And that girl, she's so strong, so strong. And I'm so blessed and thankful to have her in my life. And I think of what she's been through. And I tell myself, she's do it, I can do it. I think of what my mother's been through. And like, my mother was bullied very bad in high school. She had psoriasis. And so she would tell me that the kids would make fun of her and pick on her. And she told me this one story that I'll never forget because I was just so angry. It was a softball tournament or function, something like that. Anyways, the girls put gloves on and then grabbed my mother and threw her in the lake and told her to wash herself, because of her psoriasis. And it's and this was just in the 80s, and it's still happening to this day, bullying and just ridiculing people for stuff they can't help. That's hereditary. My grandfather had it. My brother has it. And it just breaks my heart. And so, if my mom can deal with that, if my mom can get through that and whatnot, if my dad can get through his battle of his disease and come out on top, then I can do it too. My grandmother, she lost her husband, and and she's still going strong, and I look up to them, and that's what keeps me going, because I know that if I quit, then they will too, and I don't want them to. And so, yeah.
Amazing. I need to pause for just a minute and take that in myself, because I lost my mom a few years ago, and yeah.
I am so lost without her.
Well,
so lost.
You're doing a great job, Amedy. Tell me, Amedy, how did you get to My Face? How were we so blessed to get to know you?
I did this article, my first one ever. I was so nervous for the Detroit Free Press, and this worker, Marissa, she works from Next Gen Face. She saw that article, and then got tied in. Wanted me to come over and visit, and then also My Face came in and saw the article too and wanted to help, and so they asked me to come over here. We met, and the community is just awesome. It was all from that article pretty much.
Yeah. For those who might not know who or what Next Gen Face is, Next Gen Face is, they're out of Northwell. And there are a number of very high skilled doctors that perform surgeries on individuals with craniofacial differences. And at My Face, we thrive on community. And we happen to have a really good relationship with Next Gen Face. And when they called and told us about Amedy, it was an immediate, of course, we'll do anything we can to help. So we've had the pleasure of spending time with Amedy. The staff has had time with Amedy, and it's these opportunities that we're given in our life to meet other people that can materially make a huge difference in your heart, in the way you approach things. So this is just one of those incidences where Amedy has stepped into our lives, and she is just a beautiful, beautiful person. Amedy, I told you the other day how many kids I had, and you sort of laughed like that. And
I told my dad, and he goes, "Oh, I feel sorry for him," because he thinks I'm a handful, and I go, "Listen."
Yeah. So I'm thinking of Louisa, 8 years old.
Yes.
If you could sit with her, and I hope one day soon you will, what advice would you want to give her as she navigates being a female in this world and the pressures that one might feel being a female in society?
When you look in the mirror, I'm beautiful, I'm loved, and I'm worthy. And society, it's not you don't have to be what everybody else is. And why would you want to be? Because that's just boring. You want to be weird. You want to be your own self. And just don't listen to those outside voices, because those outside voices don't matter. And 99% of the time, they're only putting you down because they feel bad about themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So just stay strong, stay beautiful.
Well, I promise you I'm going to take the clip from this video and ask Christy to cut that piece for me so I can give it to Louisa.
I love it, Louisa. That's a beautiful name.
Oh, thank you.
She needs to know that beauty is within, and also the eye of the beholder. And I've learned that, I really now have learned that with the very healthy relationship I'm in right now. My boyfriend, it's only been 5 months, but I swear it's years. I mean, we are so close. I mean, I'm very open with him and very comfortable with him, and he genuinely, he makes me feel beautiful. He makes me feel valued. And I struggled with that even before I got shot. And I look back and I go, oh my gosh, why? That's why, tell my younger self, just stop listening to those outside voices. I was like, you're figuring out who you are, and that's for you to figure out, not other people to try and shape and mold you the way that society thinks you should be, because a lot of the times it's not, no. And yeah, and it just, self-worth and self-value is so important. And I feel like it just gets pushed aside because us women feel like we have to put this image, and if we don't have that perfect image, then we're not beautiful. And no. And my significant other, just, I'll have my hair up in a messy bun and jammas.
Mm-hmm.
You're gorgeous. Just out of the blue. And I'm like, and I just, it's amazing. And
Yeah.
just that love and that acceptance. I cherish that. Yeah, just amazing man.
So just before Amedy and I had a chance to sit here, she was on the phone with him. And she said, as she was getting off, I love you. And I looked at her and said, who said it first? Because in my house, as Harry would attest, he just got married 2 weeks ago to my youngest of my first batch of 4 daughters. So it's a big thing with me. And I asked her, I said, who said I love you first? And she looked at me and said, he did. And I said, marry him.
Oh, his parents are calling me daughter-in-law.
Yeah. So I have so many more questions, but that's not fair. We're here to join as a community. So I'd like to open it up to anyone that might have a question for Amedy. Please just, she asked me to please leave enough time for people to ask questions. So are there any questions that maybe you'd like to ask Amedy? Aaliyah, I know you've got one.
Amedy, I don't know if you remember, but we met briefly. We met briefly at the My Faith headquarters. I was with Naomi, Austin. It was a whole group of us. But I'm also a facial difference advocate, where I share my story to inspire the lives of others as well. And I appreciate you for sharing your story, not owing your story to us, because it really goes to show that you have to share your story at your own time, girl. And you just shared it so beautifully. So beautifully. Thank you so much. As another woman, with a facial difference, like how you discussed, being a woman with a visible difference in society, we battle with beauty standards and self-image, self-worth. And I loved how you spoke so eloquently about your healthy relationship now, because I feel like I have a support group with teens, and it's morally girls. And we all talk about relationships. I'm such an open book. I share my personal relationships I've been with, and they share as well. And I guess with this, I'm going to leave this question as, how did you know when you were ready to get into that relationship? When did you know that you were, okay, I have to love all of myself to actually put my all into someone else. When did you figure that out?
Wow. He kind of stumbled into my life.
Yeah?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh.
I wear my grandmother's wedding bands to have her with me, and
Yeah.
so I was out celebrating with friends, and I actually had that wedding band on my ring finger, so I wouldn't get that attention. But no, it's I guess these last couple of years, I mean, I just have felt comfortable with myself, and I felt confident in where I'm going with my future. And you know, like I said, like he literally, like first he like saw it and was like, oh, and I was like, no, wait, no. And I was like, wait, like I just do that so like people leave me alone.
Yeah.
And you know, and so he's a very respectful man. And so yeah, I mean, yeah, after that we just, and then we literally haven't been separated.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really been this year, I guess. They say when you know, and I guess
Right.
I knew. Yeah, I wasn't looking.
Because, like, I feel like that is such a high question and unspoken thing that in the facial difference community we are scared to even speak about because, like you said, like, are we even worthy of love? Like, we don't even fit
Yes.
in
Yeah.
the society, you know?
Yeah.
So, and I love how you said, like, you know, why try to conform in society? That's boring, you know? We were born to
Yeah.
stand out, you know? So that's what I tell these other girls. But from my personal experience, like, I'm such an open book. Like I said, I've never been in a relationship. And I'm proud to say that because I had to endure isolation and realize I had to find the love within myself,
Yeah.
you know? And I just love how there's a representation right in front of me. She's killing it. She looks absolutely beautiful. She's speaking so beautiful about her story, and she's in a healthy relationship. Oh, wait, that is possible.
It
I
is.
thank you so much for sharing that with me.
Yeah, of course. And girl, it is. It's possible. And I did realize that you gotta love yourself
Yeah.
before you can expect to love anybody else.
Exactly.
So true.
So
Yeah.
true.
So true. Thank you, Aaliyah.
Of course.
That was
Please.
good.
Hi. So October, it's Domestic Violence Recognition Awareness Month. And just yesterday, I was speaking at Trust Yourself Summit, where victims and survivors talking about post-trauma, what happens within it. If you're taking yourself back to the day when it happened, and just imagine yourself a movie. You're filming the movie, your director sitting on the high ladder. What kind of tip you can give to victims that says that's the moment that I should see something is wrong?
There's been the moment that something was wrong. I was 14, so it was way before he actually snapped. Like the red flags happened when I was 14, when he was very violent towards my dog, and then it went towards me. But yeah, that's when I knew something was wrong. If that answers your question.
Yet you were trapped. You couldn't do much.
No, I wasn't. It was really bad. I feel like I couldn't talk to anybody or speak to anybody, because what they, like, domestic people that are abusive, if you try and talk, they'll go to something you love, your family pet, or you know, something like that, or I'll tell this secret or something along those lines. But yeah, I knew quite early on that there was something wrong, but I guess I ignored it. Yeah. Oh yeah, it was a big, threatening for sure. There's a lot of threats. But that's how they control you, right? I hope I answered that.
Yeah, Claudia.
Did you, once you got in the hospital and you woke up, did you feel scared? And also, did you notice that you couldn't open your eye once you woke up in the hospital?
Yeah. I kept asking why I couldn't see. And then I was learning ASL, sign language. yeah, so I was learning that, and so I was signing like Mom Okay, and my brother had to tell me that she had passed, and so like I got sad, but I guess it didn't. I thought I'd just go back to my normal life. I wasn't so much scared. I was more confused. Like I was confused and what happened, pretty much. Like I knew what happened, like subconsciously, but the forefront, I was like, what's going on? And it was pretty chaotic. But yeah, it was probably more confusion, and then later on fear, because what's next, and we didn't know.
Christy. Oh.
Oh, thank you. Hi. Thank you so much for sharing your story. I mean, I could feel it. I can still feel it. And I'm just in awe of how eloquently you talk about it. And it was such a significant trauma. And I'm a therapist, and I can't help but wonder about the role of therapy, if you've been in therapy, even in high school when you were 14. Like, were there people like school counselors? I mean, we're in your story. Do you have therapists or therapy along the way?
I did, but I was too scared to speak out. And so in high school, if something inappropriate or happened, I was too scared to speak out. There was counselors. I've been through therapy. I've been going on and off of therapy since I was 13. After the incident, I've been consistent for the last 7 years. So, but yeah. But I also, when I was a teenager, I also had that like stubbornness of, oh, they can't help me, they don't understand, they don't know. And so I had that in my head, and so I was kind of stopped. I wouldn't really go to therapy myself. But now but now I go to therapy, and then I'm actually studying to become a trauma therapist too. So that's kind of funny that happens.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Therapy was very, very helpful. It's helped me so much, navigating my PTSD, my night terrors, and it's all of that. Very important people. Your job's awesome. I want to be there someday.
Where are you going to school?
This little small community college back in Michigan. It's like, I mean, literally, like we get 500 kids a semester. It's really, really tiny.
What are you studying?
Psychology. Probably get a minor in sociology, or I think so. Not quite sure yet. Yeah.
Social work.
Yeah.
Any other questions or comments? Yeah. Lizzie.
Just your journey from going through that since 14 and then the incident, and just your journey, excuse me, your journey just after that. Like you were saying before, like what comes next, what's after, what was your journey kind of coming back to yourself after being through all that and really finding your way and finding that optimistic approach and coming back to yourself? What was that journey like?
It was up and down. It was questioning a lot of myself. Should I do this? Is the right thing to do? Will this benefit me? Will this hurt me? Is this person good for me in my life right now? Is this person, it was a lot of back and forth. I had a lot of support from, my support team helped me out a lot with that, finding myself. But yeah, it was rocky. I mean, it's not an easy battle, but if you truly want to be better and you truly want to do good, then you'll get there. And the end result will be good. Like my mom always told me, like, you set your mind to something, then you set your mind to something, I'm screwing up. You'll do it and get it done or something like that. Sorry. What What would she say? I can't remember. Anyways.
Was there something specific, like a moment that really helped you to overcome that? Or was there something specific that helped you along that journey?
I don't know. I like seeing my brothers, their grieving, their processes. I guess it like kind of helped me try and do my own. Yeah, I'm not really sure.
Can you define like a specific moment in your journey where things kind of started to come back to yourself? Like
Oh.
I'm more than my trauma.
Yeah, it was probably about like 2 years ago. I was like everything. We were getting things together for New York and stuff, and I just got this sense of like things felt right. Like even though things weren't quite finished yet, or I still had surgeries coming up. Like I was doing great in school. You know, my journey is this journey is really fun. You know, I've been doing that, and yeah, it was just it's like a kind of like a switch. Like I told myself, yeah, I can do this, and it's like I'd wake up and today's gonna be a good day, and I just keep going pushing forward. It was kind of like it wasn't really no like crucial like anything happened. It was really I just like woke up one day and was like, yeah, I can do this. I guess just keep going.
Yeah, your story is very impactful. Like the fact that like I complain over minuscule things every day, but you're able to like go through that and able to really not just come back to yourself, but really show like your resilience and be more than that one incident, because you're not defined by that.
No.
That does not define your existence. To kind of take that and want to give back by wanting to be a trauma therapist and like how else can I help people?
Yeah, because I don't want nobody to go through. I do not want no one to go through what I went through. No kid deserves to be silenced. No kid deserves. No kid deserves anything terrible in general. They're just kids. You know, we're just trying to grow up and figure out our way in life. You know, it's just
So true.
yeah.
Yeah, it's incredibly inspiring for you to come out of that and like, I am not that incident, I am more than that. And really come back to yourself and really own that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Lizzie. Just one thing, Pat, before you start.
Sure.
I'm coming to you, old man. Grandpa's gonna have a question. So,
Amedy, I am so in awe of you. I'm so glad I got to. I feel lucky because I got to hang out with you. You know, a little bit more even. I wanted to ask you, what was it like for you to make that journey? And I know, you know, I took care of patients who came from all over the country, and it was very scary for them to have to come to, come to New York and, you know, from Michigan and to a team that you didn't really know. How did you know? I know because they're a great team that you would have gotten amazing care. But how did you know that that was the right next step for you?
Well, I'm always one for new things and different outlooks, different opinions and stuff. And my dad and I, we were really sat down. And we're like, why not? Let's see what they have to offer. And it was scary. It was intimidating. Wow, for sure, this city is intimidating. But we got here and it was fun, and we're pretty good, navigating it pretty well and stuff. But, yeah.
Okay, I just admire your courage. I can't express how I feel, because even I have gone through stages. I lost my wife several years ago, and even today I miss her terribly. But sometimes when I feel myself depressed, I'll look at her picture and I'll say, hon, I got to turn you off. I got to turn you off because I got to think of something else. What do you do when you feel yourself getting depressed? How do you get yourself out of it, which you must do? You got to get yourself back on beam. Do you have a method?
Yeah, I usually think of upcoming things that, like, my goals. So, like college, starting that up again once all my surgeries are done, or thinking about my next surgery and the outcome of it, or family events. You know, I'm sitting here depressed. Well, okay, but I have this to look forward to. And so I think about that, and then that gives me back, you know, the joy, and it gets me out of that stupor. Or if I'm really low, then what I do is I'll grab my crystal and I'll meditate, and I'll just sit in silence and just think of everything I'm grateful for and everything that's been happy in my life, no negativity, and then I just think of just releasing all of that. I don't need it anymore, get it out of me. And yeah, it's and then reading. I definitely go to books as an escape, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have coping mechanisms that I think, for me, help me a lot.
Yeah. I just, like I said, I'm just amazed. And I would guarantee you're on the threshold of a very, very happy life. I'm
Thank
sure.
you. Thank you.
So Amedy, I can't thank you enough. Spending time with you the other night and now spending time with you here has really made a difference in my life. And I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for really helping me to become a better person, because I am. So thank you. And Becky, thank you. Thank you for being her soulmate, her friend through such a tragedy. You know, I think we all need someone like a Becky in our life. And you know,
Yeah.
So
You get stuff done.
I want to thank you all for coming. I hope that today brought something to you and your heart as well. Just a few thank yous along the way. I don't want to forget anyone, so I wrote them down. So the first thing I'd like to do is I'd like to thank Barbara Zuckerberg and David Santiago, two of our board members who really lead the charge in what we're doing at MyFace. And then, of course, the incredible staff at MyFace, starting with Dina, Karen, Jackie, Pat, Lizzie, and then those that are not here today, Naomi. Rena's our Chicago Senior Program Officer. Obviously, she's not here because she's in Chicago. And then Alyssa Young, who kind of keeps the fort together at MyFace. And, you know, we're blessed with amazing friends. They're called consultants, but they're really friends. And, you know, Dan Elston, who actually is putting on these events with us. And so, Dan, thank you so much. You're an amazing person. And then Suzanne Orlando, who, Suzanne's somewhere here. Suzanne, who works with the program team and really helps us shape some of these programs like today. So thank you, Suzanne. And then there's two more that aren't here, but if I don't say their name and they watch this video, I'll be in big trouble. And of course, there's two more women, Mia Perlman and Kristen Summers, who are just really incredible people as well. So thank you. I want to give a quick shout out to Joe DeMeo, who's here, who will be our next speaker in November. And Joe has a lot to share as well. And I hope you can make the next event in November. So from the MyFace team that believes that, as Dina said, relationships are so critically important. And we are working hard to continue to build, they call it the MyFace revolution, bringing people together, creating friendships, and lasting ones at that. We welcome you to bring friends. We welcome you to bring whomever you'd like to these events, because our revolution is really taking fold right now. And Aaliyah, I mean, you're a rock, and what you do for MyFace does not go unnoticed. So thank you for what you do. This concludes today.